So after the Celine show wrapped, Taehyung stepped outside into the warm Parisian air and did something that absolutely nobody predicted. He bought an ice lolly. A simple, ordinary ice lolly. And yet somehow, in his hands, it became the most fashionable thing anyone had seen all week. That is the Taehyung effect. And it is genuinely one of the most baffling and wonderful phenomena in existence. Most people eat an ice lolly and look like they're melting along with it. Taehyung eats an ice lolly and looks like he's starring in a luxury fragrance campaign that hasn't been shot yet. The way he held it, the way he bit into it so casually, the soft afternoon Paris light catching the angles of his face. It was almost offensive how attractive it all looked. Fans nearby completely lost their composure, and honestly, who could even blame them? You prepare yourself mentally for seeing Taehyung at a fashion show. You do not prepare yourself for Taehyung eating a frozen treat on a Parisian street corner like some kind of breathtakingly beautiful human being, who is completely unaware of the chaos he is causing just by existing. And then he met fans. He actually stopped, took time out of what was already an enormously packed and glamorous day, and gave his people a moment. Because yes, the star power is real, the aura is undeniable. The way he commands attention in every room he walks into is something that cannot be taught or manufactured. But underneath all of that is a person who still looks at the fans who have loved him for years and genuinely wants to give something back. He didn't have to stop. Nobody would have blamed him for walking to his car and heading back to the hotel after a long day. But he stopped. He smiled. He existed in that moment with the people who have been in his corner since the very beginning. And that means more than any front row seat or Fashion Week credential ever could. Now let's take a step back and actually appreciate the full picture of what he looked like that day. The outfit was Celine from top to bottom, and it fit him like it was sewn directly onto his body in real time by someone who has studied his proportions as a form of devotion. The silhouette, the cut, the way the fabric moved, everything was immaculate. And then there was the jewelry, sitting against his skin like it had always lived there, effortless and rich without being loud. His hair was doing that thing it does where it looks simultaneously styled and like he just woke up looking that way naturally, which is an art form in itself. The entire look came together into something that felt less like a fashion choice and more like a visual thesis on what it means to wear clothes, with complete and total ownership. Celine didn't just dress Taehyung for this trip. They built an entire world around him. And speaking of Celine, can we talk about how they treat this man? Because the way the brand has embraced Kim Taehyung goes so far beyond a typical ambassador relationship that it almost needs its own category. They sent a private jet for him. A private jet, not a business class ticket, not a first class suite, a private aircraft, because apparently that is the appropriate mode of transportation when you are moving Kim Taehyung from one country to another, and honestly, correct. They put him up in one of the most luxurious hotels in all of Paris, a city that practically invented the concept of luxury. And even then, the hotel had to rise to the occasion of hosting him. Celine treats Taehyung like royalty because that is genuinely how they see him. Not as a celebrity they hired to sit in the front row and look pretty, but as a true representation of the brand's identity, its elegance, its effortlessness, its refusal to be anything less than extraordinary. He is their prince in every sense of the word, and Paris this week felt like his kingdom. The aura that Taehyung carries is something that people in the fashion and entertainment industry talk about in almost reverent terms, and it is genuinely difficult to describe to someone who hasn't witnessed it firsthand through a screen or in person. There are famous people, and then there are people who possess something deeper, a gravitational quality that makes every space they enter rearrange itself around them without anyone consciously deciding to do that. Taehyung has that in an amount that is almost unfair to everyone else trying to have a presence in the same room. It's not just his looks, though those are obviously a conversation of their own. It's the combination of his confidence and his softness. his artistic depth, and his playful warmth, his complete comfort in his own identity, and the genuine curiosity he still brings to every new experience. That combination produces something in a person that no stylist can create and no brand deal can manufacture. It is just him. It has always just been him. Now, fans have also been quietly buzzing about something else: the question of Cartier. For a while there, Taehyung was practically synonymous with the brand, spotted wearing their pieces constantly, radiating that old-world Parisian luxury energy that made him and Cartier feel like a natural pairing. But lately, fans have noticed a shift. No Cartier jewelry at recent appearances, no subtle logos, no signature pieces, no quiet nods to the brand that once felt like such a natural part of his aesthetic. And people are genuinely curious. Is the ambassadorship still active? Has something changed? Is Taehyung quietly moving in a new direction aesthetically? Nobody has official answers yet, and perhaps that's part of what makes following his journey so fascinating. Every appearance becomes a kind of sartorial puzzle that fans analyze with the dedication of art historians, reading meaning into every accessory choice and wardrobe decision, like it's a language only they've been given the key to translate. But zoom out even further from the fashion world for a moment and think about the bigger picture of what Kim Taehyung's life looks like from the outside. Think about his parents, sitting somewhere back home, watching their son be received in Paris like visiting royalty, watching Celine send a private jet for him, watching the whole world fall over itself to get a glimpse of him eating an ice lolly on a street corner. The pride that must live in their chests must be an almost overwhelming thing. There is no parenting manual that prepares you for raising someone who becomes Kim Taehyung. There is no chapter titled, "What to Do When the World Falls in Love with Your Child." And yet here they are, watching it happen in real time. Watching the boy they raised become someone who moves through the most glamorous spaces on earth with total ease and still stops to meet the fans who love him. If that doesn't make you emotional, nothing will. And then there are the people who knew him before all of this. The school friends, the childhood classmates, the kids who sat next to him in class or passed him in hallways without any idea whatsoever of what was coming. Imagine being one of those people now. Imagine scrolling through your phone and seeing Kim Taehyung arriving at Paris Fashion Week on a private jet, looking like the most beautiful person to ever exist, wearing Celine like it was created specifically for his body, meeting global executives and brand ambassadors and the most powerful people in the luxury fashion industry, and knowing that at some point in this person's life, you shared the same ordinary world. That you sat in the same classroom, ate lunch in the same cafeteria, existed in the same unremarkable daily routine before the universe revealed what it had been quietly building all along. There is something almost mythological about that, about the way certain people are destined for a life so extraordinary that even the people who knew them first can barely reconcile the two versions of the same person. And through all of it, the private jets, the fashion shows, the Paris hotels, the Celine campaigns, the global fame, the unfathomable star power, Taehyung remains, at his core, the same person who stops on a warm afternoon in Paris to buy an ice lolly and spend a few minutes with the people who love him. He said goodbye to the fans that day the way he does everything, with warmth, with genuine feeling, with that particular brand of sincerity that makes every person in his vicinity feel like they were seen, even if just for a moment. He waved, he smiled, and he carried all of that love with him as he went. And the fans stood there on that Parisian street holding their cameras and their memories, knowing that they had just witnessed something they were going to talk about for a very long time. If you made it to the end of this video, you already know what to do. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It means the world and helps this channel more than you know.